Welcome back to Grayson MTB, the channel dedicated to helping families enjoy the world of mountain biking together. Woo.
3, 2, 1, action.
Today is all about the Trek Roscoe 7 and the 1 year of ownership and everything that's happened since I've had it. Warranty claims, updates, upgrades, and just my overall thoughts since it's been a whole year now. In the last video we did, the RockShox Recon was having an issue to where the lockout wouldn't work. So no matter what I did, it wouldn't put enough pressure on the shock to not compress. I wound up taking that back to Trek within the 1 year warranty, and RockShox had to completely rebuild the front fork. No big deal. I'm pretty happy about it. It works. I haven't had any issues since. The rear wheel noise that I was hearing randomly throughout the trails and I couldn't really recreate it. I really appreciate everyone's comments and speaking with me about it. I brought that all back to Trek within the 1 year warranty, and they figured out that it was going to be a defective spoke. They completely warranted the entire rear wheel. I had one of the COVID bikes, so I had an E13 LG1 wheel, and they sent me a Line 30 replacement. So I have a different wheel in the back than I do in the front. It doesn't really bother me, but before they put it back on the bike, they made sure all the spokes were tight. Sure enough, there was an issue with one of them. Once they went over all the spokes individually and ensured everything was at tension, I have yet to hear the problem, and I've been riding it for another 6 months. Sometimes you just gotta work with talent. Did you wash your hands? Go wash your hands. Let's talk about upgrades. Shout out to Rex 9003 for the upgrade recommendation in the comments. I absolutely found a used XC shifter for like, I don't know, 50 bucks. Yeah, it is the best bang for the buck. I originally planned to use a wolf tooth adapter because the XC shifter that I got was spec
A button. There's a button too.
There's a button too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the XC shifter that I got was a spec EV, and obviously I was coming from NT200s. I originally bought a wolf tooth adapter, bar end to spec EV. Totally worth it, really nice quality, but I'll tell you why I didn't use that in a little bit. Either way, when I bought this shifter, it also came along with a 50mm stem from 1UP, and it was a 35mm bar end. So this is when things started to kind of snowball out of control, because I said, well, if I'm going to buy this shifter and replace the shifter, I might as well do the stem as well. So naturally, I did the most responsible thing that you can think of. I went out and bought bars. I picked up a set of P&W Range 3 bars in cement gray to match the rest of the bike of the P&W stuff that I've gotten. And I was pretty surprised that there was a sticker in the box. I gotta hand it to P&W. When I was taking these out of the box and really looking at these bars, they felt really nice. They looked really nice. That paint job that they have on them is really unique. And it feels fantastic. The bars feel a lot lighter than the stock bars do. By the way, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm definitely gonna ride with all these upgrades done all at once, and you're gonna get my initial reactions to how everything really felt. Now, I knew in the future that I would be upgrading my wife's bike, and I definitely wanted her to have hydraulic disc brakes. So I kind of justified buying a 6120 kit from Shimano, knowing that my NT200s are going to come off my bike and they're going to be a free upgrade to my wife's. Kind of offset the cost a little bit for me. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a full install video of the 6120s and all the things I had to do to get them on. There's a couple things I definitely want to talk about aside from a full install video. Number one, the Trek Roscoe 7 says internal cable guides. That just means that there's holes in the frame and that they're pretty. You can't just throw the brake line in there and automatically expect it to come out the top of where it's supposed to go. It just doesn't work that way. I was able to get it through with a little bit of string and a little bit of finesse. I will say one of the biggest pain in the butts is on the bottom of the frame when you have that internal zip tie guide on the bottom of the frame. It keeps all the internal cables nice, neat, and together. That was the pain in the butt. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't have a fancy stand. I just had to throw it onto the rack that I have on the back of my truck. And you can bend the zip tie and just get it in there. It just takes a little bit of patience. That was probably one of the hardest things to do. It's gonna sound like dog snot if you don't put that zip tie back. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and give a thumbs up on the bottom. And if you want to, subscribe so you always get notified when we post a new video. Now this was going to be it. This was going to be the end of the upgrades. And then as I was installing everything, I noticed how horrible the stock dropper post lever looked. When everything else was spec EV. My OCD made me order the Loam Lever 2 by PNW. Also in cement gray, of course, gotta keep it going. I will say, when I took this out of the box, I was really impressed with the quality. It is a solid piece of aluminum. Not only is it gorgeous, it feels really nice. Now, Loam Lever 2 also has a bunch of adjustments, more so than your stock dropper lever. It can move more to the left or more to the right. It's spec EV, which goes great with my new brakes that I just put on. You can take up the slack, you can change the engagement point. This is all adjustments on top of feeling so much smoother and a much more positive feedback when you press your dropper lever button now. All right, I promise, that's it. These are all the upgrades. There are some links in the description to everything that we discussed here. Let's take a look at some B-roll because this bike looks beautiful. All right, so as promised, let's take this thing out for a ride and see how it feels. Oh, little crunch. Shoulder tuck on that one. Whoa. Woo. Yeah, the brakes are a big deal. I mean, I know they're 2-finger brakes, but for me and my push capacity, 1 finger on these 4-pot brakes is really all I need for now. Whew. Brakes are sharp. Whew. Damn, out of shape. Definitely out of shape. Shifting is so crisp. It's so nice. Wow. So the shifter, big quality of life improvement. We go up 2 gears at a time. It's really nice. And it's really fast. A little pop. Nothing crazy. I'm not trying to die today. Man, downshifting is nice and fast. I feel like it's a lot faster than the Dior. Not just because of you can go down 4 at a time. It's just, it's a lot faster. It's a lot crisper. So 2 things I noticed about the differences between the Dior and the XT that you don't really find on paper. The first thing is the throw. Let's say, you know, this is the throw of both shifters. They have the same amount of throw. The Dior shifter will shift 3 gears down within this throw. The XT shifter shifts 4 gears down within this throw. The Dior upshifts 1 gear at a time. The XT does 2 gears at a time. That you can find anywhere in the specs. What you don't notice is I think they call it the rapid shift technology. That's in the XT shifter. What that means is, on your Dior shifter, without rapid shift, when you go to upshift, if you hold the button, nothing happens. When you let go, it'll upshift to the next gear. With the XT, when you press the button, it immediately upshifts on the depress. The Dior upshifts when you release. Big difference. You feel it on the trail. I love it. This translates into all of your gear shifts being that much quicker. Sometimes you can upshift 2 gears and you won't even feel it. It'll be very smooth, very crisp. The feedback is very nice. Now, the dropper post lever, right, the Loam 2 milled out of a single piece of billet aluminum. Really nice, feels really sturdy. I like the amount of adjustment it has. It looks fantastic. It feels fantastic, not just the thumb pad, but like, you know, engaging the lever feels rock solid. Surprisingly, I don't really feel much of a difference between the width. I mean, I know we're going from what, 780 millimeter width bars to 800s. So I don't really feel that 20 millimeter difference. I also don't feel the difference that much in the 35 millimeter stem as opposed to 31. Maybe in time, or maybe after I go back to, you know, riding this a while and farting around on my wife's bike with 720 millimeter bars and a 31.8 millimeter stem, maybe I'll notice a big difference. But right now, I don't notice it. But it looks good though. All right, so final thoughts. The first thing I gotta talk about is the most annoying one. It's the Range Gen 3 handlebars. The paint job looks amazing. It's anodized black aluminum with shiny gloss black paint. And the moment you start putting on your grips or your brake levers, the paint starts coming off. And it's white underneath of it. It's kind of upsetting, especially for a $70 or $75 set of handlebars. I don't know if I would make that decision again. But they do look good. The Shimano 6120s. I am really happy that I decided to go with a 4-piston brake setup. I like them. I like them. I thought my NT200s were good. The 6120s, oh my goodness. First off, I love that the levers themselves are actually short and stubby. I only need one finger on them, as I stated when I was riding. I love that. I think the price is right, especially because right now, as I'm recording this, Worldwide Cyclery has 15% off. Link in the description. It brings them to about $92 for the front and $92 for the rear, right? So it's about $180 plus tax. Shipping is free. I'd absolutely get them again. They're fantastic. I didn't pick the XT or the XTRs because I don't think the features that they offer are that much of a value to me. I don't need the stroke adjustment, and I don't like the toolless reach adjustment because once I set something, I usually don't change it once I get it to my preference. And if I do want to change it, all I need to do is get an Allen key. A lot of the comments I got on the previous 2 videos were, hey, 5'8" and 170, what bike would you recommend getting? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 5'8" and 180. I had a medium large because that's what the Trek website kind of leads you to. But if you take a look really closely at the website, someone that's 5'8" actually falls in between 2 sizes, the medium and the medium large. Honestly, if I could do it all over again, if I could trade my bike in without all the upgrades, of course, I would probably step down to the medium. And that's what I've been telling a lot of you in the comments. I love my bike. I'm used to my bike. I ride it just fine. I have a funny feeling that if I had a medium instead of a medium large, that I'd be ripping it pretty hard. So that's my advice. If you're in between both sizes, size down. PNW runs discounts all throughout the year. Sometimes I've seen them kind of regularly at like 20%. I wouldn't buy the PNW stuff at full price. I would wait until there's a 20% discount and then get them. That's just what I would do. I'm not someone who likes to pay full retail price for things. Speaking of getting a really good deal, I'm not going to use that Wolftooth Components iSpec EV bar clamp mount. I paid full price for it, but I'll leave a link down in the description to Pink Bike. I'll probably put it up for like $30. All right, so if you have any questions or you want to share your mountain biking experience with us, please, by all means, pop down to the comments below. We love hearing from you guys. I'm pretty sure as long as you weren't trolling me, I responded to every single comment in the past videos, and I probably always will. So if you want to talk and share some experiences, do it down in the comments. I love hanging out with you and spending time with you, and I think this is pretty rad that me and you do a YouTube channel. I'm so glad that I don't have to force spending quality time with you.
Do I get something?
What do you mean, do you get something?
Well, I get $5, so I
gotta pay you for doing a video? I gotta give you money?
Yeah.
What? I love spending quality time with my kids. I gotta pay you money for real?
It's 5. 5?
Alright, get out of here.
This is... Oh, I get it? What?
Talent.